Well, hello YouTubers. Sorry it's been so long since I've made an update video for you. I just really haven't had the time to work on the truck lately, and also, as you saw at the beginning there, 98 degrees. That's in the shop, in the shade. Doesn't include heat index, which has been bringing it to about 110 degrees. So needless to say, between the heat, work, and summer activities, and any other excuse you can come up with, I have not been able to work on the truck. But here I am with a new update. So a bunch of y'all have been asking about my bed, and I kept wondering, why are all my subscribers pervs? And then I figured it out. Truck bed. Well, look at that. I've got one. So this little gem cost me $100, and it's in pretty good shape for it. So let me give you a quick tour. Alright, so I can't tell you much about it other than it's a 68 to 72, and the only reason I say that is it can't be a 67 because of this right here. I believe on the 67 this continues all the way back, because it wasn't until 68 that they mandated the side marker lights. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty damn sure. Strange thing though, so this is a custom, just like that truck in there is a custom. I'm gonna have custom badges out the yin yang. There will be no denying it. But anyways, pretty good shape. I do have a little bit to work, a little bit of work to do on the very bottoms, but very minor. So what I'm going to do is take a bunch of measurements and give you my rhyme or reason for what I'm going to do next. So we'll see, but check this out. The bed floor, which is usually destroyed in these things either from being used or rust, is really good. I do have rust there, none on the other side, and I believe it's, yeah, there, it's really bad. But that's it, so we shall see. Let me show you the bottom really quick, just so you can see, for those of you at home who haven't got to this part yet, or are curious, will also be able to see what's involved. Alright, so here is what the bottom looks like, and I just realized that I probably should have turned it the other way to get you better lighting. But, so you have 8 bolts hold this thing onto the bed, onto the frame rather. The very forward two, and then you have this cross member here, that cross member there, which I don't have bolts showing through, and then the very last ones, they don't actually go through the bed floor, they just go through that bracket, if you can see. So somewhere around this third from the back bracket is gonna, I believe, gonna have to be cut. Again, I don't know where exactly my hole is gonna be cut in the bottom of this floor, so I can't tell you right now, but obviously I will keep you posted on that. Otherwise, you can see the bottom of this bed is very clean, and part of the reason for that is this thing, the guy bought it from, this thing's been laying upside down in his backyard for a very long time, so rain and sun have helped clean the bottom for me, which is good. So let me get to those measurements and a game plan. Okay, so here we are. Another great time spent with the blue tape, measuring tape, and Sharpie. And here's what we have. 6-foot bed is never actually a 6-foot bed. In this case, from the leading edge of the bed here to the very tail panel there is 6 foot 10 inches, which puts a center line right here. But the front is shorter than the back. So the true center line of the wheel well, indicated by these marks dividing that, comes right here where this plumb bobbin string are hanging. So measured that up, found it, decided to stick a wheel in there, and I think space-wise, you know, I think it's spot on. I think this is where center line looks best. So what that does is put from the leading edge of the bed here to center line at 40 inches on the nose. Easy peasy, good news. But wait, there's more. Let me show you. One thing to keep in mind is these bed sides actually extend past the front of the bed wall. And you can see by the way it comes in here. So I just happen to know where there's a bone stock 67 to 72 F100. Never been apart. So I measured from this point here to the back of the cab, and here are the measurements I came up with. So we'll just do the right side since we're here. So 1 5/16. But here's the problem. I told you 40 inches from here to that string. Well, it just happens to be that from my cab, where this blue tape is right there, to center line on the wheel, which is the left side, it's 41 1/4. So that means I'm going to have an 1 1/4 gap between here and the bed, or the cab rather, I'm sorry. And I just don't, that's going to be kind of ugly. Which also means obviously that this space, instead of being the 1 5/16, is going to be at least 2.5 inches, which, okay, kind of tacky, but it's the space here that I think just an 1 1/4 doesn't sound like much until you measure it out and you see that gap, and it's going to be one of those deals that when you're standing perfect with the cab, you're going to see light through the other side, which kind of sucks. But I think the best thing to do is go ahead and cut the hole in the bed, get it on there, and mess with the spacing a little bit and see if it looks bad, or if I'm going to have to make a sacrifice in the wheel spacing, or what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to have to do, is just roll with it and see how she looks. I just thought it'd be fair to throw in this little tidbit of information. If you followed Nathan's build on these trucks, he had real nice spacing on both the front and the rear wheels in relation to where they sat in the opening. Now here's the kicker. If you remember, Nathan pushed his cab back. He didn't use the factory cab mount holes because of the spacing on the front. So he slid his cab back and fabricated new cab mounts forward of the firewall. And I think I decided to use mine not only for simplicity, but I didn't want to have to move my radiator back. I wanted to leave it all as Ford set it up. So I left mine there. So I think that's probably where the 1.25" went. Is he slid his cab back when he put his bed where it's supposed to be in relation to the cab. It also worked its way out here. So until I get this set up, I guess it's kind of a pick which battle you want to fight. So I think I'm going to close this episode here, get to hacking on this bed, get it dropped over the chassis, and we'll reevaluate. Alright? Thanks for hanging in there again. Sorry for the delay, but hopefully y'all are busy out doing fun summertime things.